Lincoln Financial, committed to helping you take charge of your financial future. And with the ongoing support of these institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
You're watching PBS.
Local telecast of the PBS NewsHour is provided in part by
the New Mexico Humanities Council, seeking to understand who we were, who we are, and who we hope to be. The New Mexico Humanities Council, proud to support public and interpretive programs throughout New Mexico.
We're cooking up exceptional shows for Joanne Weir Gets Fresh. Check them out.
Saturday at 2:30 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
News doesn't stop on Friday at 7:30 at night. PBS NewsHour Weekend is kind of a natural next step. The NewsHour's been committed to being available on air or online, and now weekdays or weekends. There's no shortage of news that's out there, but why do people come to us? To give them some context and analysis that they can't find somewhere else.
Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
The Annie Moses Band performs a sweeping collection of beloved love songs. The Art of the Love Song is an unforgettable television event. The Art of the Love Song, only on PBS.
Saturday at 10 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
The KRWG Music Spotlight is on the lookout for local musicians with original music to tape a mini concert at KRWG-TV. Email us a link to your music. The address is feedback@nmsu.edu. And be sure to watch the KRWG Music Spotlight in the television section at krwg.org. More local programming from KRWG Las Cruces.
Thanks to viewers like you, we've been able to tell America's stories on this PBS station. Help us continue to tell these stories now and for future generations by including this station in your charitable plans.
I'm Fred Martino. Join us for Newsmakers, Thursdays at 7, Saturdays at 5, and Sunday mornings at 11. KRWG, TV, radio, online, news that matters.
Telecast of News22 is provided in part with local support from Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting News22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
Tonight on News22, President Obama and President-elect Donald Trump meet for the first time.
Diabetes testing comes to NMSU.
And the city prepares to celebrate Veterans Day.
News22 starts now. Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Selena Quintana.
And I'm Mike Vigil. Today, President Barack Obama and President-elect Donald Trump sat down for the first time since Trump was elected president.
It was also the first time the pair ever met. The encounter was not as bad as some expected. Diane Gallagher reports.
President Barack Obama.
We now are going to want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds.
Welcoming President-elect Donald Trump.
I have great respect. The meeting lasted for almost an hour and a half, and it could have, as far as I'm concerned, it could have gone on for a lot longer.
The closed-door, one-on-one White House meeting is a key step in starting the smooth transition between administrations.
I very much look forward to dealing with the president in the future, including counsel.
It is important for all of us, regardless of party and regardless of political preferences, to now come together, work together to deal with the many challenges that we face.
So while the two sometimes bitter enemies who had actually never met until today have spent years bashing one another.
I mean, he finally gave the birth certificate. He should have done it a long time ago.
So he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing?
These moments mark a public effort to put up a united front. As Trump transitions from running for office to running the office, he met with his party's leaders who control both the House and Senate. Behind the scenes, his team is reviewing thousands of resumes, attempting to put together the next administration. In Washington, I'm Diane Gallagher.
But there still is plenty of tension over the election. Protests are erupting across the nation in the wake of Donald Trump's victory. Thousands of Americans took to the streets to protest Tuesday night's results. Many were chanting, "Not my president," and holding signs in protest. In Los Angeles, citizens burned a giant papier-mâché Donald Trump doll, while others burned the American flag. Officers in some cities arrested some demonstrators whose protests became violent. And we have now learned that tomorrow, people in downtown El Paso will protest at the San Jacinto Plaza starting at 8 p.m.
Because of the election, NMSU students woke up to an email from the Dean of Students. Dean Michael Jasek said, "We are here to listen and support you as our nation works through this election transition." He said if students are struggling with the impact of election and the tone of national discussions, or if they're experiencing negative treatment because of your race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or other aspect of your identity, please contact the NMSU Counseling Center.
Senator Tom Udall isn't holding back any post-election thoughts. In a statement, Udall congratulated states like New Mexico, Colorado, and Nevada for all voting for Hillary Clinton. He also called for Trump to properly lead our country, saying that the whole world is watching. Udall went on to say that America is strong and will continue to be strong if it stays committed to American principles. Governor Martinez also had some post-election words. She had not endorsed Trump, but is now making nice. Martinez said Trump was a better choice than Clinton, although she did not agree with Trump's rhetoric. She also downplayed the Democratic takeover of the New Mexico House of Representatives, saying that many districts were swayed by just a few hundred votes. Martinez says she has already gotten things done with a Democratic-dominated legislature. And it looks like Las Cruces is going to get a little colder over the next couple days.
Oh yeah. Here's Andres with their next look at the weather.
We are pretty chilly right now with our first look at weather. Right now we're looking at partly cloudy skies, temperatures at 53 degrees, winds coming from the east at 5 miles per hour. We do have some moisture in the air with humidity at 49%, dew point at 42, and our barometer sits at 30.17 inches. Today we reached a high temperature of 60 degrees, which is a little below average for this time of year. We should be at 69. We woke up to a chilly 41. In the year 1988, we hit a high temperature of 81. But in the year 1977, we hit a bitterly cold low temperature of 26. We didn't see any rainfall for today, so our yearly rainfall sits at 7.36 inches. Back to you guys on the desk.
Thanks, Andres. 4 more states will soon be going green. Voters in California, Massachusetts, Maine, and Nevada voted to approve the recreational use of marijuana. 5 states had the option to vote for recreational pot on Election Day, with Arizona being the only state to reject it. Voters in Florida, Arkansas, North Dakota, and Montana all approved the use of medical marijuana. This means that medical marijuana is now legal in more than half of the United States.
November is Diabetes Awareness Month. Today on NMSU's campus, there was free diabetes testing. Students and faculty were able to get tested and learn about the dangers of diabetes.
We screen about 200 people here, and then it gives us a chance also to let them know about our diabetes classes. We are a nonprofit 501c3, so we have free diabetes classes and diabetes support groups.
More information about diabetes will be available on campus throughout this month.
And diet is one of the most important factors in staving off diabetes. And now doctors say that one thing to stay away from is sugary drinks.
Kim Hutcherson has more on how to fight diabetes.
Adults who drink sugary beverages regularly have a 46% higher risk of developing prediabetes compared to those who avoid or rarely consume them. That's according to researchers at Tufts University. They analyzed information from the Framingham Heart Studies Offspring Cohort, a program that monitors multiple generations for factors that contribute to cardiovascular disease. Data on more than 1,600 middle-aged people over a 14-year period was studied. Researchers found that higher intake of sugar-sweetened drinks, colas and other carbonated beverages, along with fruit drinks like lemonade and fruit punch, was associated with increased insulin resistance, a risk factor for type 2 diabetes. People who drank a median of 6 12-ounce drinks a week had insulin resistance scores roughly 8% higher than low or non-consumers. This study adds to a significant body of research that has linked sugary drinks with an increased diabetes risk. The good news is that, if it's diagnosed early, prediabetes is reversible through lifestyle changes like diet and exercise. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
And then the New Mexico Department of Health has a new program to help with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's called Know Your Rights. It gives people with these disabilities info about resources that are designed to help their life quality and independence. The initiative encourages people to participate in integrated living, as well as vocational, educational, recreational, social, and leisure activities. And October is not only Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but did you know that it is also Dwarfism Awareness Month also?
News22 Chelsea Peña takes us to a meeting of the Little People of America, where we meet people with a different perspective on life.
Heading up towards I-25, we met up with Marianne, who lives on the west side of Albuquerque. The 53-year-old is a little person with the most common type of dwarfism. It's called achondroplasia. Her size doesn't stop her. Marianne finds ways to live comfortably and says she has a pretty normal life.
I'm a married woman with a 20-year-old son. And obviously I was dwarfed since birth. I live a productive life. I take care of a home. I take care of my son and my husband. I drive a normal car. I do everything that everybody else does.
Marianne is the only person who has dwarfism within her family. The rest are of average height. Like all of us, Marianne likes to be with people just like her, and we went with her to the Halloween meeting of the Chili Peppers group. They had good food, a costume contest, pumpkin carving, a raffle to raise money, and elections for new group leaders. The group's purpose is to provide resources to those affected with dwarfism. It also spreads awareness and provides a sense of community. New chapter president Matthew Lohman, who's a development director for a statewide nonprofit organization, says the little people in this group are from all types of backgrounds.
I mean, this is a really good group of people. It's made up of students, everywhere from students to people who work long careers to people like myself who are in the working world, all different professions and all different interests and diverse backgrounds, but our commonality is just that we all have one form of dwarfism or another, or some people are here because they have a family member who has it.
18 family members came along with their little people loved ones. The group has a meeting every season of the year. The next one will be in December in Santa Fe. During the meeting, Marianne volunteered as vice president. She hopes to become a great leader within the group. Chelson Pena, News 22.
For more information about the Little People of America organization or about dwarfism, Google Little People of America.
And stay tuned, Andres will be back with your national forecast.
And later, Senator Martin Heinrich has some words for veterans. More on that when News 22 continues.
The KRWG-TV public file is available to the public at 2915 McPhee Circle, Milton Hall, Room 117, on the campus of New Mexico State University. Regular business hours are from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. Files are also available online at stations.fcc.gov.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Thursday,
where news matters.
Just in time for Veterans Day, District Attorney Mark D'Antonio and New Mexico Attorney General Hector Balderas are promising a Veterans Court in Doña Ana County. A Veterans Court works to get violators help instead of punishing them. Once the treatment court is up and running, it will be able to apply for federal funding and grants. D'Antonio says he hopes this will offset the operating costs. Currently, there are more than 200 veteran courts across the U.S.
U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich has some words for vets this Veterans Day. Heinrich offered his gratitude for U.S. and New Mexico veterans. The senator said he is proud of the New Mexico veterans, saying, quote, New Mexico's men and women have a long tradition answering nation's call of duty. Senator Heinrich will celebrate Veterans Day in Las Vegas, New Mexico at Veterans Park. New Mexico Veterans Affairs is looking to provide shuttles services for veterans around the state. They are adding to a program that operates with volunteers. 5 vans capable of seating 8 people serve Albuquerque and southern New Mexico. 2 of the vans eventually will serve Gallup and Artesia.
A wanted Las Cruces gang member is back behind bars.
That story leads tonight's Crime Blotter.
Jesus Martinez Perez was arrested by LCPD's gang unit and U.S. Marshals in a high-risk traffic stop. He was wanted by the U.S. Marshals Service for probation and parole violations. He is being held without bond at the Doña Ana County Jail. A Las Cruces teen is charged with stealing a loaded handgun in early November. Police arrested and charged 17-year-old Jalen Boston after police say he took the .45 caliber handgun from an unlocked vehicle. Boston's mother found the gun after getting a tip from a friend. He is in the Doña Ana County Jail without bond. And a Las Cruces judge approved search warrants for DNA samples and fingerprints from 3 murder suspects. Back in September, police arrested Adrian Banda, Alejandro Ruiz, and Gregory Saavedra and charged them with the gruesome murder of Johnny Ramirez. Ramirez's remains were found inside the trunk of a burning car near the Doña Ana Mountains. I'm Nolan Fox with today's Crime Blotter.
So it looks like a cold front's going to be hitting the U.S. this week.
And here to tell us more is Andres with the weather.gov national forecast.
Hey folks, we're going to take a quick look at our temperatures across the country. Right now in San Francisco, we're looking at 71 degrees, Los Angeles at 90, Seattle at 63. Over here on the East Coast, we're looking at 82 in Tampa, 80 in Miami, 57 in New York, and 59 in D.C. On our next map, we're going to take a quick look at a cold front that will be affecting much of the East Coast. Cold air from the north will be seeping into this region, affecting cities like Montreal, Boston, New York, D.C., Pittsburgh, and Detroit. Gusty winds will make temperatures feel a lot colder than what they seem. Temperatures are supposed to drop 10 to 15 degrees, and lake effect flurries are expected. On our next map, we're going to take a look at some storm systems that will be affecting the West Coast. States such as Washington, Oregon, and Northern California will see a lot of rainfall, which will be affecting a lot of the morning commute into early next week. The possibility of snow may be expected in the Sierra Nevadas and the Cascades. That is it for your national forecast. We're going to take a quick break, and I'll be back with your New Mexico forecast.
A lot can happen in a day. So when you're ready to know more than just what's happening, we'll bring you the voices who can tell you why.
This is All Things Considered.
Listen every afternoon.
I had a dream.
The brilliant Imelda Staunton stars as a fierce stage mother who won't stop pushing her daughter.
I'm gonna make you a star.
Look for the quintessential showbiz musical, Gypsy, on Great Performances.
Friday at 8 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Coming up on Austin City Limits.
Saturday at 9 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Thanks for tuning back in. Let's take a look at our current temperatures across the beautiful state of New Mexico. Right now in Farmington, we're looking at 53 degrees, Gallup at 48, Santa Fe at 45, Albuquerque at 51, Clovis at 51, Socorro at 52, Ruidoso at 46, Roswell at 51, Deming and Las Cruces both at 53. Our highs for tomorrow are expected at 62 for Farmington, Gallup at 60, 57 in Santa Fe, Albuquerque at 61, 60 in Clovis, 62 in Socorro, 51 in Ruidoso, Roswell at 64, 65 in Deming, and 63 in Las Cruces. Let's take a quick look at some cities nearby. For tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy skies and a low expected at 38 degrees in Alamogordo. For tomorrow, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies and a high temperature expected at 64. Up north in TRC, we're looking at clear skies for tonight, a low expected at 40. And for tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies with a high temperature expected at 63. Up in Silver City, we're looking at a chilly night, low expected at 35 with partly cloudy skies for tonight. And for tomorrow, a high expected at 57 with partly cloudy skies. Here in the city of the Crosses, we're looking at 41 degrees for our expected low, mostly cloudy for tonight, as well as tomorrow with a high expected at 63. I'll be back at the end of the newscast to take a look at your 5-day forecast with your weekend in view. But for right now, let's take it back to the folks on the desk.
Thanks, Andres. Police have 2 suspects in custody after a deadly shooting in Denver.
That's the first story in tonight's Southwest Minute.
The shooting happened yesterday afternoon near a mall in downtown Denver. Several blocks were closed off while the incident was investigated. Investigators say police shot the suspects. They were taken to the hospital where one died. Search teams looking for a missing girl in Baytown, Texas have discovered a body. 16-year-old Kirsten Fritsch hasn't been seen since her mother and sister were shot to death in their home on Tuesday. Police arrested Fritsch's 21-year-old boyfriend Tuesday night. Authorities say the body matches Fritsch's description. And 200 high school students in Phoenix, Arizona walked out of school in protest to Donald Trump's election. They left their classrooms around lunchtime yesterday. Students from at least 3 other Phoenix high schools also walked out. No arrests were reported. I'm Tanya Barba with the Southwest Minute.
Well, basketball season is right around the corner.
That's right. The Aggies tip off tomorrow, and here to tell us a little bit more about that is Bryce Rewalt with sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, we take a look ahead at what's to come for high school football this weekend. And the Aggie basketball programs get their season underway. You can toss that remote because News 22 Sports is next.
There's a lot of wonderful tools out there, and they all have their nuances and interests to me. I'm a huge hammer guy. I can never have enough.
You can't. I agree with you, you know?
The reward that comes from making something that functions really well is just immense.
I can't agree with you more.
Saturday morning at 9:30 on KRWG TV.
We have a message that we're trying to get across. Everyone's going to take something different from the songs, and it just surprises you in an unbelievable way.
Saturday at 11 p.m. on KRWG.
This is KRWG TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Bryce Rewalt, and let's talk sports. The high school football regular season has officially wrapped up, and all 4 Las Cruces high school teams are looking to advance in the state playoffs. Centennial face off against La Cueva High School at the Field of Dreams Saturday at 1 o'clock. And the Trojans of Mayfield landed the 10 seed. Mayfield will travel up north to take on Volcano Vista Friday night at 7 o'clock. And the 2 top teams in the city are the Centennial Hawks and the Las Cruces Bulldogs. The number 4 seeded Hawks will face the winner of Manzano and Atrisco next week. And the Bulldogs raked in the number 3 seed, only losing 1 game all season. The Dogs will face the winner of Clovis and El Dorado next week. And Las Cruces High are also amongst the best in the state in volleyball. This weekend is the New Mexico High School Volleyball State Playoffs. Centennial is the number 1 overall seed going into the tournament, with Las Cruces holding the 8 seed, Gadsden with the 9, and Hobbs holding a 10 seed. If you're in the Rio Rancho area this weekend, go support your local high schools. Be sure to pack the Pan Am tomorrow because Aggie basketball season is finally here. Both the men's and women's team will be playing their season opener tomorrow night at the Pan American Center. The women's team will square off against the San Jose State Spartans with a tip-off scheduled for 5:30 p.m. The men's team will tip off at around 7:30 against the Arizona Christian Firestorm. The women's team is looking to defend their WAC title as the men's team is hoping to get back into championship form after their loss in the WAC tournament last year. And tonight's play of the day is brought to you by the NBA and Mr. Zach Levine of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Enjoy.
Aaron Gordon. Levine pokes the inbounds pass away, and he's off and running. We know his athleticism is off the charts. We saw it at All-Star Weekend last year. So the steal and the dunk by Zach Levine. Aaron Gordon, 15-foot jumper is good. First field goal for Gordon.
And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action next week. Still ahead on News 22, Andres will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, the simple look is gone. Starbucks has revealed the look for their 2016 holiday cups, and they are quite festive. More on that when News 22 continues.
Watch what Mary and I are going to create.
Make a cake without sugar? Bake a pie with wild boar?
It's just like pork, only a bit more gamey.
This is your recipe for success.
A carrot cake using natural sugars.
Eat yourself slim, Mary. Eat yourself slim.
Sunday at 3 p.m. on KRWG TV.
On Masterpiece. There was a meeting in Whitehall this morning.
The new viceroy.
Now this fella, did you ever see him out here with Banerjee?
I've heard the most terrible reports about your brother.
Yes. Help me, please.
I can help you, as I helped Mr. Banerjee.
Indian Summers on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 9 p.m. on KRWG TV.
They are the greatest predator since the dinosaur, and one may be living in your home. So what makes a cat? And how have they thrived in nearly every landscape on Earth?
They are last remaining large carnivore in the mountains, surviving next to one of the largest urban areas in the world.
This is the story of cats, an 11 million year evolutionary journey into our homes.
Sunday at 11 p.m. on KRWG TV.
And welcome back. Let's take a look at our top stories. Senator Tom Udall had some interesting post-election thoughts. He called for Donald Trump to properly lead our country, saying that America will remain strong if the country stays committed to its principles.